the Pope that the Church had lost.
You said that you remember well the day that the Pope died. Why?
Well, because there was a great amount of hoopla in the press. In fact, the Pope was out in Casa Gandolfo, as was usual, for his summer break, and some papers announced his death before he died. There was a certain amount of media scandalous coverage, especially because at that time the Pope in Casa Gandolfo was almost segregated from other parts of the church, because he had his own kind of curia that ran Casa Gandolfo, Mother Pasqualina and some Jesuit fathers and a few others, and his own Dr. Galeazzi-Lisi. And the communication between them and the media was not great, so that apparently some of the press anticipated his death, and others then, when he died, had many stories about it.
Getting back to Pope John the 23rd, you said that people were a bit disappointed to start with. I mean, we got this portly new Pope instead of the austere and elegant figure of Pius XII, who introduced a whole new style into the papacy.
That's right. I remember I was in the square the night that he was elected. And as far as I remember, it took several days to elect him. There was confusion about the white and the black smoke. Nobody could quite make out which was white and which was black. But eventually the feeling got around that he was going to be elected, and I was over there when he was announced.
You knew who he was?
No, I did not know who he was. In fact, most people didn't know who he was, because the announcement at that time was made in Latin. You know, Annuncio vobis Gaudium Magnum, I announce your great joy. We have then elected a pope, and then they name him. But the people around me were saying, who is this man? Who is he? We've never heard of him before. And when eventually he arrived on the loggia, and they saw this tiny figure barely able to look over the parapet, you know, they were saying,
Why? We have smoke in St. Peter's Square now, so we will come back, and it looks to be
white.
We have a
Look at that smoke streaming out.
This is good.
This is incredible news here, coming up here on 6:08 p.m. here in Rome at the Vatican, and we have white smoke streaming out.
And you can hear the
chimney.
crowds.
And we hear the crowds applauding there. As you can see, now we got the camera work on there.
Just crowds of people crying.
Is amazing. Here we are.
And celebrating this special moment.
Yeah, it's so white, so...
There was a brief moment where we were a little unsure, but it is confirmed it is white smoke.
We have white smoke here. A smoke warning.
A smoke warning. We're no longer watching.
Oh my goodness, I was walking out the door.
We're back with Dr. Leslie.